Hello traders, this is Dave with the Compass Options Live Trading Room, and this is will be the Periscope weekly video, 16th of January 2023, and I'm also going to do a 2022 review, a recap basically of the trading of last year, and we'll talk a little bit about that and go over a lot of our stats and how we did in the room and how the strategies worked out. So again, good evening or good morning or good afternoon, whenever you're watching the video, and let's get started. First, we've got to cover our disclaimer. All the signals and trading opportunities provided here, whether we do it orally, written, electronically, for educational and demonstration purposes only. Trading is very risky, so you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose, and neither myself or Right Line Trading are licensed financial advisors, so we won't be giving financial advice. All right, so let's take a look at this recap of some trades. These go back to November, and we've looked at these last few weeks, but I'll leave them up here just to kind of look at these. And again, we had some nice wins here. We had 3 losses on all of these trades from 17th of November, but again, some nice wins in here, 45% on QSR, 56% on Schlumberger, 20% on Tesla, 26% on FIS, CHPT, 47% on the time spread, Chewy, 37% on the time spread, which we'll be getting into a lot of time spreads here coming up. IBM, 19%, Merck, 19%. So you can see here we did have a lottery on Starbucks for 100% gain, but CVNA, 46%, just really nice wins here. Netflix, 34%. That takes us up to the middle of December. Here's the remaining of December. Had a couple of losses in here. Tesla for 15, ANET for 59, but some really nice wins. And this was in a really tough market. We had to get in and get out of these things pretty quickly. So very difficult to rack up really high percentage wins in this market. But generally speaking, between 12 and 20 or 30% on all these trades. And again, from 10/5, October 5th to 1/6, we had 146 wins, 16 losses for 91% win rate. This is the trading so far this year for January of 2023. Again, we've had, you can see the trades we've had here. We had ENPH was a loser, very frustrating trade. But other than that, we had an ENPH winner. But we had some nice wins in here. 40% on this Amazon. TSM, we had 18%. ENPH again, 22%. So a good week. And these are our trades of 1/3 to 1/13. We had 15 trades. 16 actually, we had 1 scratch, but 14 wins, 1 loss, 93.3% win rate in these trades right here. So we started the year off well. We've got some outstanding trades right now. We get Baxter short. We've got Caterpillar long, and we've got another one long. What's our other position that we've got long right now? Let's see. Oh, Boeing. Yeah, we're long Boeing as well. So those are our outstanding trades. We also got a time spreader on Delta Airlines that we had the short call expire last week, and we've got a time spread on SI. The earnings will be Tuesday morning, so we'll see how those go. So again, I just kind of wanted to recap the year. I wanted to take a look at the. This is the SPY chart. This goes back to the beginning of the year. This is January right here of 2022, and you notice the downtrend in the SPY. This is a bearish trend. This has been the first really long bearish market since about 2008. We had a short bear market back when COVID hit, but that was kind of driven by COVID. This is more of a typical bear market. It's just been coming down all year long. We've been putting in lower highs. You see here's a high here, another lower high, another lower high, another lower high, and a lower lows. Here's a low low, a lower low, a lower low, and a lower low. So this is the trend we're in. It's been like this all year. This is one of the things that made trading so very difficult this year. You get these these drops and everything looks bearish, then you get these violet rallies like this. It moves up, come back down again, another rally, comes down, you get another big rally right up to the 200-day moving average, then a collapse, and then another rally up again. So this is where we are. And this is more of a current view of the SPY. Again, you can see we've got this downtrend. You can see here on Friday, we poked up above the 200-day moving average again. We've gotten above it here, a few times. So we'll see if we follow through on this. And we are in earnings season, which tends to be relatively bullish, but that's the SPY right now. And we'll see where we go from here. It's really, you don't want to make any prejudgments on where the market's going to go. You just let the market tell you where it's going, and then you just trade it that way. A lot of people talking about a big crash, a big bounce. I don't do anything like that. I think I don't make trades based on what I think is going to happen. I only make trades based on what's actually happening. Okay, so we'll take a look at some of the charts. We look at this one each week. This is we have a lot of new viewers, so I wanted to include some of these. This is Tesla. This is a 5-minute chart on Tesla. This is a compression right here. You can see the candlesticks moving sideways. This is the dynamic compression zone right in here, this shaded area. And here is the Tesla moving up. These were Fibonacci candles. These were the Fibonacci that we look for reversals. Here you had a wick and a tail, followed by a flat bottom and a flat bottom and a flat bottom. Those are bullish reversals, and you can just follow this right up, and you can just keep going, and then you start to lose momentum here, and you can get out. You notice that the compass system is all green all through here, telling us to buy. This is a bullish setup. We just have to pick our spots. We have acceleration dots, which tells us that the current time frame Laguerre, or momentum basically, is telling us that it's as high as we can measure it as far as institutional buying is concerned. So that was a nice trade. Now this is a SPY. I like to show this each week. This shows Fibonacci candles. These are Fibonacci candles. This is when we're talking about a reversal. This is a bearish reversal right here. You see the wick and the tail, followed by a flat top and a flat top and a flat top. That's a bearish reversal in the Fibonacci on the SPY. This is where you would enter for a short. This is the current time frame Laguerre down here. You see it's yellow. As long as it's yellow or red, it's bearish. So it was telling us to go ahead to go short. This is something else I measure from time to time. This is the Bollinger Band width. This is telling you that we're coming out of compression. When the bandwidth starts to expand, we're coming out of a compression. You can see us coming out of a compression coming down. So this was a nice trade. And now it's starting to flatten out. You see how it flattens out right here. And you see how the Bollinger Bandwidth now is starting to shrink, which means we're going back into a compression again. Even though the system is still red, telling us that there's selling going on. But if we're in here and we start to see lack of momentum here, this is where you would take profits, anywhere in here. And again, you can see it went blue over here, which means we're starting to get some buying coming in. But this was a nice setup. This was another SPY trade. This is on the 5-minute chart. This pink line is the VWAP, volume weighted average price, very key. This is something that you want to make sure you only trade short when the stock price is below the VWAP, and only trade long when the stock price is above the VWAP. Here the SPY broke below the VWAP right here after coming out of this compression, and you can see everything is either red or yellow right here. So this is a bearish entry. This is where we would come in right here as it breaks the VWAP. Enter in, write it down, and it starts to compress. You see the compression taking place. Looks just like that last one we just looked at. Here's where you would get out of the trade. You wouldn't want to stay in here. It's lost momentum. If it happens to reverse and head back down again, you can rejoin it. But this is where you want to take your profits on this. And again, everything is red or yellow. You notice we start to switch over to blue here, which is telling us that the buyers are coming back in again. So this is basically just using the compass system to let us know what the institutions are doing. And what the institutions are doing is they're selling. And we've got a nice entry point right here below the VWAP. VWAP is an excellent support resistance level to enter on a short when it breaks below it like that. This was a QSR trade we had, and I showed this so I can show you the daily, the 5-minute, and also the Dominator system for looking at the market internals. So this is, again, you can see all the green here. but this is a daily chart in QSR. And you see how this breaking out right here. You see how it's kind of moving sideways, and now we get a nice breakout in QSR right here. And here's the 5-minute on QSR. This is where we traded it. Again, you can see this little green line is the 15 EMA. That, along with the VWAP, is another nice support resistance level that you can use to enter a trade. But you notice right here is when everything went in your favor. See how everything went green? It went from yellow to green, but we're still doing compression. But here we have a pop out of the box signal. This pink arrow is a pop out of the box. In other words, the stock price is breaking compression. It's telling us to buy. We're going to go long on this QSR as it is. It comes off the 15, so we're very close to support, and then we just ride it right up, right along the 15, and then as we get extended from the 15, and we start to lose compression. We start to develop compression. We start to lose momentum. We get out, and you can see the Laguerre by the current time frame momentum went yellow right here. Perfect place to get out of it. Nice trade on this QSR. And this is QSR. On the same day. This is on the Dominator system. The Dominator system, if you're not familiar with it, is a system that runs on a Ninja 8 platform, which measures the market, what's called the market internals. Market internals look at stocks moving up on up volume and upticks versus stocks moving down on down volume and downticks. Not looking at price, it's looking at the number of stocks moving up on up volume and uptick versus the stocks moving down on down volume and downtick, and it's looking at 5 different indexes for that. It's looking at the New York Stock Exchange, the S&P 500, the SPY, the triple Qs, the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the Russell 2000. It's looking at all 5 of those. It tells us whether we have green or red, which tells us green tells us we've got a propensity of buyers, red a propensity of sellers, and the arrows tell us when we get buy arrows on a background. The background on Ninja will be light green and dark green for bullish, light pink and dark pink for bearish. So in this particular case, we had QSR with a dark green background. That means the multi-time frame trend, the trend that we're following on QSR is bullish. So that would mean we'd only play it long. And when we start to get the arrows on QSR, that means that the market internals have switched to heavily way more buying than selling going on based on volume and ticks, and that's when we can enter it here. In this particular case, if the compass system was looking good right here, you could have entered it right here as well, because even though we didn't have buy signals, we didn't have a propensity of red, so you could have taken it there. The safer place is to take it right here and write it up. And this again is the Dominator system, which I use in conjunction with the compass system. And we're going to talk about the specs on that and what difference it makes with the systems that we trade. All right, and here's another nice buy trade on Dominator. Again, you see the arrow right here, the red arrow. When you get the red arrow, that means that the number of stocks moving down on down volume and down ticks is swamping the number of stocks moving up on up volume and uptick. Very high probability entry right there for a short as it breaks below the 15 EMA right here. And you just take it down for 3 or 4 candles. And a lot of times in the SPY in this market, that's all you can get. 3, 4, maybe 5 candles is a big move in the SPY. Sometimes you only get 2 or 3 candles. It has to be fairly quick moves. But you would get in here, and as soon as you start to see some, the arrow goes away, you're starting to get some sideways motion, you just get out and take your profits. This was a trade we had this year, ENPH, the one that worked out nice for us. This was an overnight one right here. You can see it coming down. You see how it went it's all yellow or red all the way from here. Anywhere in here, you can take it. We actually took it right here, held it overnight, made a nice profit on it. And Tesla was another one. This is a 5-minute trade on Tesla right here. See how here's the VWAP. We're trading below the VWAP. Right here, everything went yellow or red. You could get in here, right here off of this 15. There's a 15 EMA right there. That's a perfect entry off the 15 EMA right there on that pop out of the box signal, which is telling us the compression is being broken to the downside. We take a stock, take the entry here, comes down and starts to compress again. And if you were in here and you get out here, you could take profits, but there was no reason to at this point because everything was still red down here and we were getting some compression, but the 15 was still moving down, and then it starts to move back down again, so you could stay in it. And again, once you start to get some blue here, you want to get out of it. So you want to get out of it down here. But a nice trade on that stock, on Tesla. This was another one. We had KHC, which we held overnight. We held it, bought it here, didn't do too much for us the next day, and it gapped up this third morning, and we took nice profits in KHC. We held it overnight for a couple of days and made some money. It's not a fast moving stock. The options were relatively tight spread, the bid to ask, so we just had to wait for the stock to finally move out of the compression and get us our profits, which we did. And STZ was another one we took. This was a nice move to the downside here. This is a daily chart. Nice move to the downside. We actually traded it in here off of this candle right here. We took about a 55% win on this. We actually did it with a debit spread, a put debit spread. So we bought a put for a strike, and we sold a lower price strike. We got in pretty cheap, and we made 55% on the trade. And again, on the daily, you can see that you notice that it's coming out of compression to the downside. Perfect trade. And another good one we had was UNH short. This was another one we kept overnight, and again, breaking down out of compression right here, and it broke down beautifully. This VWAP, by the way, you don't pay any attention to that on the daily chart, only on like the 5 and 15. This is only for day trading. But as the stock broke to the downside, you notice everything was yellow or red on the compass system, telling us that we can go short this, which we did, and we took some nice profits in that one. So these are just the current ones. We had DG. This was another one we had this week or last week, I can't remember, but this year was one of the ones we had. And you can see here that the compass system goes from blue to yellow. It's all yellow or red right here. You see the stock breaking below the VWAP. Pink line, the VWAP. Here's your candle, pop out of the box candle telling you to take this short, which we did, and we took it short, and I think we made $1 a contract on this, on our puts, this Dollar General, and one of the room members actually called this out when he spotted it. Perfect entry right there. Write it down. We wrote it down, and I think we had a profit target to make $1, which we did. I think it actually moved beyond that, but then it started to bounce, but we took a nice profit on that. You notice that the compass system is all red here. It makes it very easy if you're a relatively new trader. The compass system makes it really easy to see stocks that should be taken long and stocks that have taken short, and it's up to us to find the best entry point for it. So again, that was DG. That was a nice one. All right, so let's just briefly go over, and especially for new people, what highest probability trade setups are. And these are what we're trading, the highest probability trade setups. We're looking for the dominator signals and background color to align. So if we have green buys on the dominator for a stock, then we want the background color to be green. So in other words, we want to trade with the trend. We want it to be breaking out of dynamic compression. And that would be a nice entry for us. If it's breaking out of a dynamic compression zone, bouncing off a VWAP, bouncing off of a 15 EMA, some decent relative strength, reverse, a decent support or resistance level that you can get in off of. We're looking for Fibonacci candles reversing, which I showed you. We obviously want the breakout to be in the same direction as the stock's current trend. So we're only trading stocks long that are green for the day, stocks red that are red for the day. And we want to break out in the same direction as the current market trend if there is a trend. So if we're having a bullish day in the market, we want to be trading long. If we're having a bearish day, we want to be trading short. Your highest probability trades are going to be trading in the direction of the market. And of course, the modified Laguerre and the current for the current time frame, and the modified Laguerre for the multi-time frame. Those are the two momentum lines on the compass system. We want those to match the direction that we're trading in. So we want them both to be either red or yellow for short and green or blue for long, both the multi-time frame and the current time frame. And we want to see Bollinger Bands expanding, which, by the way, when you're breaking out of dynamic compression, they almost always are. And then another element we want is to select stocks that have relative strength or relative weakness to the SPY. This is really important. You want to take stocks long that are stronger than the SPY for the day, and take stocks short with a weak versus a SPY for the day. And that gives you a lot more cushion in the trade. They're a lot more forgiving when you're in a trade that has relative strength of the SPY. If you've traded it long, for example, and the SPY starts to fade, move sideways or pull back, the stock that's got relative strength is not going to pull back as much. So it gives you a lot more cushion in that trade. It makes it much easier to hold. And if it's going to be a swing trade, and this I actually would prefer to use for every trade. I would like the daily chart to match the trade direction as the 5-minute chart. So if you're going into a 5-minute chart and it looks bullish, I'm only going to trade stocks that are also bullish on the daily. And there's 2 reasons for this. One, obviously you've got more likelihood that the stock is going to follow through because the daily chart is aligning with it. And secondly, you can stay in the trade longer. If you're in a long stock, for example, on a 5-minute candle or a 5-minute chart, and it's long and it starts to pull back and the daily chart is bearish, you really can't stay in the trade. You're going to have to take the loss. You don't have the flexibility to stay in it for the rest of the day or take it overnight. You can't take it overnight if the stock is bearish and you're long the stock. So that's why I'd much prefer to have the daily chart and the 5-minute chart always align in the one direction. And of course, the pop out of the box signals will add conviction to the trade. And the key thing here is we have to have patience. We're waiting for compression breaks. We're waiting for bounces off the VWAP. We're waiting for the break of the 15 EMA, some support or resistance level for us to get into the trade. We look to buy on support and sell at resistance. Very critical, buy at support, sell at resistance. And so these are the high probability trade setups that we wait for and trade every day. Now, on the Compass Dominator combo, the Compass system again is our system that is identifying when institutions are in a trading stock and when they're not. And the Dominator is telling us what the market internals are. Are the number of stocks going up or an up volume and uptick swamping the stocks going down and down volume and downtick, or are they about the same? So when the Compass system and Dominator system both agree, both bullish, for example, you'd have a Dominator background green for the stock, a Dominator buy signal with a green buy. Then you would also have the Compass system green at the same time, green or blue on your current time frame Laguerre or your current time frame momentum, and your long-term, your multi-time frame Laguerre or your multi-time frame momentum. When all of those line up, you've got a really, really high probability trade setup. It's possible to take larger size, especially if you've got a trending market. If you've got a choppy market, I don't recommend taking larger size. I prefer taking larger size when the market's trending, and you can stay in the trade longer because you've got such a high probability trade setups. And again, the best entry levels for trades when the Dominator aligns with the Compass is support or resistance. Bounce off the 15 EMA of the EMA, bounce off the VWAP, bounce off of a white pivot point, a breakout of dynamic compression, some support or strong support or resistance level that you can lean on. That's really, really important. Okay, that kind of covers that. Let's talk a little bit about this. This is the second year, just starting the second year of the Compass Options Trading Room. And I really appreciate all the folks that have been with me this year. And I just kind of wanted to outline exactly what it is that the goals of this Compass Room Trading Room is. These are the goals that I've laid out for myself for the room. And basically, one, to help the members become consistently profitable under all market conditions. And this is really, really important. When I get into a little bit more discussion on 2022, this past year of 2022 was a nightmare for most retail traders. Lots and lots of people I know that traded for a living are out. They're not trading anymore. The accounts got blown up, or they just couldn't take it anymore. So what we're trying to do here is help the members become consistently profitable traders under all market conditions. We want to be able to be flexible enough to know what strategies to take, when to trade long, when to trade short, when to not trade. Very important. You have to know when the best time to not take a trade. My goal is to teach members the most effective use of the Compass and Dominator systems in combination or individually. Both of them can be traded individually and they can be traded in combination. And I've got videos on finding the highest probability trade setups using the Compass system, finding the highest probability trade setups using the Dominator system. There's a video on the Compass indicators, what they mean and how to use them. There's lots and lots of videos that you have access to on our trading strategies in the Compass and the Dominator systems. Again, number 3, my goal is to educate members on identifying and trading the highest probability trade setups while being patient. This is really a key. We don't want to. It's very easy to get trapped into FOMO, fear of missing out. You see people posting trades, or you think you're missing out on a trade, and you almost always are going to have a better opportunity to get into a trade than if you're chasing it with momentum moves. Momentum moves are very, very dangerous. If you jump on a stock that's gone up 5 green candles in a row because you think I'm missing out on all the profits, the likelihood is it's going to turn around at some point and give you a better entry. So the key here is to educate everybody on identifying and trading the highest probability trade setups, which is what we talk about in the room every day. But while being patient, look for those highest probability trade setups and then find a good entry point for it. So we don't take a lot of trades. We only take a small number of trades, but the trades we take are very, very high probability. And again, the fourth thing, and this is from my experience that I've been in so many trading rooms, I want to accomplish these goals in a relatively low stress and disciplined environment. There's lots and lots of rooms out here that do scalping, hyper scalping and scalping of stocks, where you got to get in and out real quickly. They do 20, 30, 40 trades a day, touting about how much money they're making, but you don't understand, you don't realize how stressful that is to trade under those kind of conditions. If you want to be either a full-time trader for a long time, or you want to use trading to supplement your income for a long period of time, if you're trading in a high stress environment with hyper scalping and scalping, you're going to burn out, and you're going to take some big hits, and it's just, I just don't think, for most people, I don't think it's sustainable. So anyway, those are the trading room goals that I have, and this under all market conditions was really important. All right, so let's talk about the 2022 trading environment. What was it like? Well, we had a year-long bear market. It's the worst market since 2008 financial crisis. And a lot of people who have been trading up until 2022 have been trading in generally bullish environment. The markets, they obviously had some pullbacks during COVID and this from time to time, but they were in a bullish uptrending market, and everybody thinks it's that the trading methods that were working. They were making money consistently. This is easy. Let me just keep doing this. And then here comes 2022, and goodbye. A lot of these people, they couldn't adjust. They couldn't take the pressure, or they just lost their too much money to stay in the business. So again, it's the most difficult trading environment in many, many years. Many retail traders are not able to adjust their trading strategies and mindset, and they blew up their accounts or simply gave up. And I know the number is really high of the people who have given up trading because they couldn't adjust in 2022. And this is really, I mean, I've been through bear markets before, but when it's a bull market, it's really easy. I mean, you can kind of throw darts at a dartboard and pick a stock and make money, and everybody thinks they're a great professional trader. And then comes 2022 comes along, and they find out that strategy doesn't work anymore, and they can't make adjustments. Swing trading was particularly difficult because of the many gaps at the open and the violent bear market rallies that we had. And when you're running into a market that's gapping up 300 or 400 points, or gapping down 300 or 400 points, and you're trying to swing trade, it's really hard, because if the gap doesn't go in your favor, you're really behind the 8 ball when the market opens in the morning. So swing trading has been very difficult. When I have a trending bull market, I usually will have anywhere from 8 to 15 swing trades on at a time. This year, maybe 2, 3 at the most generally was all you could do, and it would only be in the very highest probability ones. But I had good success with them. I mean, the win rate was pretty high on them, but I had to be very, very selective on them. And again, this is important. If you survive the 2022 trading environment, you were well positioned to be a consistently profitable trader because you just traded through one of the worst years you're probably ever going to trade in 2022. And if you came out of at the end of that breaking even or still in the business, still trading, congratulations, because you've learned probably so much that when the market becomes a trending bull market again, which it will, bear markets don't last all that long, then you're going to be killing it because you'll be able to stay in trades longer, you'll be able to take larger positions, you'll be in excellent shape. So that's the 2022 trading environment. It was a tough trading environment. This is the recap of the 2022 performance. Now, I broke this down a little bit because we didn't get the Dominator system until October of 2022. I was trading with just the Compass system from January till October. So this is all of the trades for this year, the past year of 2022 that we took in the room. So I had 340 total trades, 298 wins, which is an 86% win rate, which is pretty good. I'd like to do better, but it was pretty good. 45 losses, which was a 13% loss rate, and 4 scratches, 1%. And we had a profit factor of 2.16. I don't know if you know what profit factor is, but anything over 1.5 is pretty good. 2.16 was very good. Now, in the live trading room using the Compass system only from October 3rd to 12/31, these are trades that we took based on the Compass system alone, but we didn't necessarily have a Dominator system aligned with it. The Dominator was neutral, so we didn't have the market internals going. They weren't going against us, but they weren't going with us. So we had I took 151 total trades from October 3rd to 12/31 using just the Compass when the Dominator was not aligned, and we had 135 wins, which is 89.4%. We had 14 losses, 9.3%, and 2 scratches for 1.3. Pretty good, almost 90% on these trades, these 151 trades. I'm very satisfied with that. In this market, that is really excellent. The profit factor, you notice, went up to 3.57. So we've become better at trading in this kind of a market as the year progressed. Now, in the live room using the Compass and Dominator in combination, this is when the Compass system was, for example, bullish, and the Dominator was bullish, or the Compass system was bearish and the Dominator was bearish. In other words, we had the market internals and the institutions lined up. This is the ideal setup. These are the high probability trade setups that you have to wait for. Wait for the Compass system to have a green buy arrow, a green background. The Dominator system, have a green arrow and a green background. The Compass system have green momentum for the current time frame and the multi-time frame. And this is the trades we took. 123 trades between October 3rd and 12/31 when that was the case. And I tracked these on the trade. So that was the combination. We had 123 trades, 119 wins out of 123. So you didn't have as many trades. You have to be patient. You've got to wait for them. But we had a 96.7% win rate, which is astronomical. This is astronomical when you wait for these two systems to line up. And I can't emphasize enough how spectacular this is in this market, just by waiting for the market internals to line up with the Compass system. It's just incredible. We had 119 wins, 3 losses, 1 scratch, and a profit factor of 12.41, which is off the charts. Absolutely off the charts is this profit factor. So this is, I just want to point out how important it is to use the Compass and the Dominator system, wait for those setups, and when you get those setups, take those setups, because this is off the charts as far as the winning rate here. Now, I also put a video out of the SPY Super System, which was I'm pretty much beta tested it for most of the time, because what I was doing was taking just SPY trades on intraday trades, very short-term trades, when the Compass system and the Dominator system, like here, compass and dominator system lined up on the SPY. SPY would be bullish, going up green. The SPY multi-time frame trend on the dominator would be green. There'd be a buy signal, and the compass system lined up as well on the SPY. Took 100 trades, and again, I did a few in the room, but very few, because I was really testing this SPY super system out. 100 trades, 86 wins, 86%. Not as good as this, but still good, because the difference here is these stocks had relative strength or relative weakness to the market. When you're trading the indexes, you don't have that criteria that you can use, because obviously the indexes are the relative strength, relative weakness. This is the baseline. But anyway, 86 wins, 10 losses for 10%, 4 scratches for 4%. But notice the profit factor on the SPY was higher than the profit factor on the compass dominator combination. This is really important, because what this is telling us is the wins were bigger, much bigger than the losses in here. Here the wins were bigger than the losses. Here the wins were much bigger than the losses, and that's because with this SPY, we basically are gonna cut the trade off if it goes against us. If we have relative strength and the dailies lined up on the stocks, then we have the ability to stay in it. So we may take a few larger losses on this than we would with this. Thus the profit factor is down. But this is a very, very high profit factor. But again, I want you to understand how important this using the compass and dominator system in combination, and wait for these trades to set up, how unbelievably successful this system is when you're using these. Basically what you're saying when you get these setups is the market internals are in your favor. That means if you're looking at longs, there's way more stocks going up and up volume and up ticks than stocks going down on down volume and down ticks. And your compass system is telling you that the institutions are in there driving the stock either to the upside or the downside, as your multi-time frame and current time frame gear are also green or for the longs and red for the bearish. Huge, just an incredible. And I didn't know that they were these high until I actually ran the stats on these things over the weekend. So that's pretty amazing. And now, so I'm just going to wrap it up again. This is a put credit spreads. I won't go into this. I have a video on doing put credit spreads. This is using debit spreads as a profitable day trade. I did this on Reddit. This is a post on Fibonacci candles that we discussed, how you find Fibonacci reversal candles. And there's a link to the Compass video library. And that's basically the video. These are what I'm looking at for Tuesday. I'm looking at Lyft long, Otis long, TXG long, JPM long, and JBL long, and bearish BNTX and PSTG. We'll see how they open in the morning. Market's down a little bit. This is Monday night. Market's down a little bit. And again, for entry criteria, when you're looking for stocks to go long, make sure they broke over Friday's high first with a high probability trade setup. Look for short entries to break below Friday's low with a high probability trade setup, and try to take trades that are trading with the market trend. If you've got a bullish market for the day, trade long. If we have a bearish market, trade short. Try not to do counter trend trading. Now, a lot of the markets have been choppy lately. I mean, we have really choppy action. So then you can take longs and short. Just look for relative strength, relative weakness, and trade with the direction of the stock. So anyway, that's it for the portfolio, the Periscope video for this week, and as well as the 2022 recap. I hope you find this interesting. I think that the biggest thing that jumps out for me is this: using the compass and dominator system in combination from October 3rd to 12/31 is pretty stunningly impressive. This is I think I'll be hard pressed to maintain this kind of a win rate, but this 119 trades, 123 trades is a fairly good sample. So that's statistically that's a pretty good number of trades. So we'll see how we can keep it going. Again, we've started off this year pretty well. Market is still a tough trading market, but I hope that everybody is learning and is able to use the compass and the dominator system, and becomes even better, more successful this year. And I'm looking to get as many people as we can to be looking for these high probability trade setups, posting in the room so everybody is we got lots of eyes on the market looking for the highest probability trade setups. So again, have a great evening or a great day, and we'll see everybody Tuesday morning as we begin another week of the 2023 trading season. Have a great one. Enjoy yourself, and we'll see everybody on Tuesday morning.